Good morning, happy Monday. Hey now, PASW staff, clients, friends, join us for Film Score Monday, where we look at a movie and I take out the scene and you come up with your own music. Music supervision, film composing, we like to have a lot of fun with it. There's a prize, so everyone should be playing. Boy, we've gotten better and better. This is one of my favorite parts of the week, to see your results that we show on Friday. So each week there's a different assignment, so it's never too late to join in. We've done these for over a year, every single week. So good work, guys. We're gonna push ahead. It was fun looking at The Rocketeer. I hope it was fun. Really a great movie. We're gonna do another kind of movie in the early '90s. And you're gonna say, what are we scoring, kid movies now every time? And I'm here to say no, but there is another kind of kid-like movie today. And I thought I'd save it, but I'm like, well, it's my class. I mean, I can do whatever I want, right? Until I get fired or something. So today, I think we'll have a lot of fun because it's going to be a different kind of score than The Rocketeer. So we'll see how we can, and they're both period films, really. Why don't I just tell you what we're talking about? Today we're going to be looking at the 1990 action crime film, Dick Tracy.
Broke the arms of an elderly news dealer this afternoon when he refused to share his week's receipts with them. Stacks of newspapers were tossed in the gutter as the thugs wrecked the business and made their getaway. Lunchtime crowds were paralyzed by the suddenness of the crime. Not a hand was raised in protest. Organized crime is their name.
What appeared to be organized hoods shattered the kneecaps of the beloved operator of a shoeshine parlor today as horrified customers looked on. The bootblack would not give up his receipts and paid dearly for his failure to surrender to gang demands.
A mother of four, unable to pay a gambling debt, lies dead tonight. Gangland thugs left her to expire in a pool of blood as they helped themselves to the contents of a cash register in her son's luncheonette.
Dick Tracy. Maybe some of you guys have seen it. Came out in 1990. Mostly remembered for its visual style, its comic book, visual style. And is it based on a comic? Well, I'm here to tell you that it is. Chester Gould was the American cartoonist, and he created the Dick Tracy comic series, and made its debut in 1931. So that's the time period that they were talking about. They started talking in the 80s about development for who would want to direct, and would we get Spielberg, would we get other big people. It finally fell into the hands of Warren Beatty, who is Dick Tracy. So Warren Beatty, 1937, American actor, still alive, 84. I think he's celibate most of his life. Oh, no, he's not. And made his debut, though, in Splendor in the Grass, 1961. That was his first thing that he did. And then with Bonnie and Clyde in 67, that's when he is so famous as, Faye Dunaway. And, they just created a whole new style with that, and that's Arthur Penn's film. And that movie launched the new Hollywood with a flood of directors coming in. So he was just in it. He didn't write that at all. And then with Shampoo in 1975, made him a huge movie star. Sex symbol, everything. This movie got 7 Academy Award nominations, winning 3 categories: Best Original Song, Stephen Sondheim, that we'll take a look at, Best Makeup, Best Art Direction. So well-deserved on all of those. Budget was $46 million. They said don't go above $25 million. Of course, that means, okay, I'll go double that probably. Box office makes $162. So it does make a lot, but actually it costs $100 million total to produce and market and promote. So when you think of doing a movie, you need almost that same amount of budget to even promote the movie. So think of that. If you're doing a $100 million movie, special effects, everything, it's like, wow, that's a lot of money. And the producer says, we need $100 million more dollars to now promote it. That's crazy. That's just not right.
never find me. Can you hear its beat? Oh, the rhythm. Happy New Year, city. Jump! We can make it! No! We can't make it.
It was going to be released by Disney, but then it was kind of too risque, probably because of, Madonna's in it, and no complaints here from that.
I'm gonna love you like nothing you've known. I'm gonna love you when you are alone. Sooner is better than later, but lover, I'll have a plan. This time I'm not only getting, I'm holding my.
Let's take a look at other movies in 1990, because this is when the film. So this is a year before The Rocketeer comes out. 90 is big. Home Alone comes out. Dances with Wolves comes out. Pretty Woman comes out. That's going to launch Julia Roberts' career. And then Edward Scissorhands comes out. And we'll talk about the score to this music, but mostly music-wise in the 90s, this is right before the grunge scene is going to explode, because we talked about in 91, Nevermind comes out, and with Nirvana's album, it's going to be, late, grunge starts late 80s, but then by the early 90s, everybody knows these bands, even if you don't like that kind of music. It's drenched everywhere. But mostly the big stars are the singers: Mariah Carey, Cher, Whitney Houston, and Madonna. Madonna, we'll talk about her. Born in 1958, so she's 62. Her big thing was in probably 1984, like a virgin. So she's already a really big star in the pop music world by the time she is in this movie. And she's kind of not really the femme fatale, but I think we know the plot. Dick Tracy's the detective. That's Warren Beatty. And he's searching for evidence against Al Pacino, who's the big boy, and who's this big crime boss. So he's kind of searching to kind of lock Big Boy up. And then Madonna is Breathless Mahoney, and she's this ballroom singer. And she's witnessed some of Pacino's crimes, or Big Boy's crimes. And she gets in the way between Dick Tracy and his girlfriend, Glenn Headley, the late Glenn Headley. And then they kind of, foster this kid together. It's a fun detective story with gangsters and all that stuff. Mostly set in Chicago, but they don't say Chicago, and set in 1938. So let's go over there. They wanted to film on location, but with period movies, it's really just so expensive and too hard. So they did sound stages and backlots, mostly all at Universal Studios, which we did a class on Universal City. So Beatty really wanted to make the movie look like a comic strip book, comic series, and which is really cool. I love the palette, the color palette. So he limited it to just a few colors, just mostly the primary colors. Music's by Danny Elfman. We've done a few. We've done Batman. Elfman, known in the 80s as the lead singer and one of the leaders of Oingo Boingo. Fun, really fun music. And Beatty hired Elfman based on Batman, which was the year before in 1989. 88, he does Beetlejuice. 89, Batman, and then he's really established now as a budding film composer rather than just a rock star. And so he's kind of getting into this kind of circusy, fun brass sound that his scores are pretty famous for. Beatty also hired Stephen Sondheim. What's Sondheim doing in this kind of movie? Well, it's a period movie. Sondheim wrote a lot of old Broadway, stuff, 50s, 60s. West Side Story was his first, but he was in his 20s. So let's take a look at your scene. Like I said, the opening credits. Let's try this again. Let's try to look at the movie with no music, because with the credits, I like to do this because this is how the composer would see it, right, for the first time. without, maybe a temp score, but mostly you have silence and you have to watch it. So let's take a look at the scene without any music and see if you come up with any notes, any ideas before we listen to the score.
St. Louis Blues, originally scheduled for this time, has been canceled. Representative Maury Maverick of Texas.
News of Europe as it occurs. The world is now awaiting the arrival in Berlin of Sir Neville Henderson, British ambassador to Germany, who took off from England's Heston Aerodrome nearly 3 hours ago, flying to Berlin with the British cabinet's answer to German Chancellor Adolf Hitler. Now, during this broadcast period, we shall hear the latest word direct from the two key cities of London and Berlin, as our CBS representatives speak to us across the ocean by shortwave radio. First in London, waiting to speak to us now, is the Chief of Colombia's European Staff.
So very cool opening. You're already in this comic book land. There's already all these, I just put kind of broadcast radio sound effects because that's what they do in the movie. But you're kind of in this non-reality in a way. But there's still a story that's kind of unwrapping right here. You see the city, you see the colors, you see Dick Tracy already, the character setup. You know that he's a detective from the first clip. So a lot of things are told to us before we even hear any dialogue. So now we need music to really set the tone of what the movie's going to be. So let's see what Danny Elfman scored.
Gangland enforcers broke the arms of an elderly news dealer this afternoon when he refused to share his week's receipts with them. Stacks of newspapers were tossed in the gutter as the thugs wrecked the business and made their getaway. Lunchtime crowds were paralyzed by the suddenness of the crime. Not a hand was raised in protest. Organized crime is their name.
What appeared to be organized hoods shattered the kneecaps of the beloved operator of a shoeshine parlor today as horrified customers looked on. The bootblack would not give up his receipts and paid dearly for his failure to surrender to gang demands.
A mother of four, unable to pay a gambling debt, lies dead tonight. Gangland thugs left her to expire in a pool of blood as they helped themselves to the contents of a cash register in her son's luncheonette. Yet
So big sounding brass, right? This whole score has a lot of brass music, and that a lot of it comes from Oingo Boingo, and Batman has a very similar score to this. It's melodic, it's fun, it's moving, it's rhythmic, it's it does its job perfectly. So you're gonna score something like that. I think something that's gonna be exciting. It would be nice if it kind of sounded a little bit like, we don't want a new song. If it's set in 1938, 1940s, think of something that was written or that could sound from the 1940s. But this isn't in the mood. This isn't a happy 1940s song. So it doesn't have to be from the 40s, but because the music isn't particularly old. It's not pastiche where it's an old sounding score. So I'm just throwing out ideas. I mean, anything, well, not anything can work, but I mean, I'm just, whatever you think would be the best fit. But something kind of exciting, definitely we want to go for the exciting because this is the very first scene. So you want to captivate the audience. And, sometimes you can just have no music in the beginning, but here we want a big opening. So a big bang, kind of. Okay, so having said that, if you get this into me by tomorrow by noon, the latest, so Tuesday, because I'm off Thursday and Friday. So I'd really like to show you your results, and I didn't want to not do it for a week because I love this part of the week. So if you can do that, then we can see it on Wednesday. And our last class for this week will be Wednesday because I'll be off Thursday and Friday, but I have reruns. I'm going to show you a Beethoven class on Thursday that we did a long time ago. But having talked about new composers since Beethoven, so many new ones, I want us to refresh with Beethoven. So I expect attendance to be there that day. And also, this is maybe the first time that I introduced the concept, not the concept, but our assignment for film scoring. If you remember, kind of the first one was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So at the end of Beethoven, I give you that assignment. And then on Friday's class, we're going to see your results for that. So you'll get to see your name twice, if, this week. So I want you to think about the good work you've been doing with these classes and the progression that you've made, because this is from June of 2020, and now we're still doing it. So see if I want you to reflect. So there's a little bit of homework this week since I won't be here Thursday and Friday, and then Monday is Labor Day. So yeah, so that's just a little rough. I wanted to give you a heads up. So, but I'll be here tomorrow, rest assured, and we'll be doing, talking about a composer. So, hope you enjoyed Dick Tracy. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get it to me today, tomorrow by noon, the latest, and then we'll see your results for Wednesday. All right, miss you and love you, and see you tomorrow.